Welcome back, YouTube. Um, Now, this is one of the in-between episodes where I'm gonna just keep on blabbering about. And one thing there is, I trying new recording setting yet again. I didn't know this gonna actually take me as long as it does. It's been more annoying than what I initially anticipated. And it's being very bothersome. And Windows Update still causing me some issues, which is yeah. Not working very well for me at the moment. But this is the in-between episode. Pretty much we have dealt with the Onyx Watch. We have been gathering their resources now. Building new vehicles and stuff. To which I must say that I was kind of stupid in the previous episode. Completely forgotten that the update actually done some changes. A month-old update done some changes to the shields, which makes lower shells easier past the shields. This actually causes stuff like crime cannons to be more effective against shielded targets. That's one thing. And two, the RTG calculations are actually correct. They are just I'm too stupid to properly calculate them. Yeah, like the vehicle 25 has 243,000 per minute. Yeah, minute has 60 seconds. So that's right. But they are also applied with somewhat of a delay, which makes them, if your fuel engines are already efficient enough to recharge the batteries, then the RTGs don't even get in the consequence of things, which is kind of annoying. I would rather have them replenish immediately rather than wait for a couple of seconds before you take your can. There has I also done some other changes. I increased the game difficulty by a bit and increased the enemy growth factor, so it won't be as it was at the back end session with the Onyx Watch, where there was just really not that many opponents there, and there was no challenge for me, no grief, no nothing. I mean, I don't know how much fun you're having, but I'm having like, oh, it's just bottled, and I think that was also shown in the videos I made. Where I wasn't really. These are sky
Airborne
forces.
at your service.
Yes.
Airborne at your service.
Are you guys retrofitted? Okay. Yes, you are. You, on the other hand, are not. Yeah, I also added a couple of vehicles. Played a lot with the designer. The previous videos is like near a week old now, and I played a lot with the designer, trying to get something of a laser ship working, which is not really going very well. Still working on my proper airship, but so far we actually have these 401 vehicles in fleet, which I might just show off. Well, we only need one of them. Yeah, this one. Yeah. These things. It's actually vehicle 11 being retrofitted to be a flying airship. Well, a thundercraft, or I have no idea how to call these things. Very fast chopper. Now it's currently doing in about 30 meters per second, but that's because some of its engines turn off to conserve fuel while being out of combat. Once in combat, these things can actually reach up to 80 meters a second, so they're not that slow. Not particularly powerful or anything, but they gonna do us for now, I suppose. They're gonna work like a bit of a support and a bit of a test on how these machines actually work, because it was kind of a bother to build these things. I had to do a lot of changes. Have to increase the size of the vessel by a fair amount with this tail at the back, and place the engines inside this tail. It's a single engine, a large engine, and then pretty much rotors underneath here, which I would have to place on the ceiling rather than on the floor, but it still works. And due to the number of them, it's actually not pretty hard to take them out. I also changed these guns. Up here is now a 137mm gun, 6-barrel gun. It's pretty much a shell velocity of over 1,000 meters a second. So that's our anti-aircraft gun. I actually am thinking about changing this back gun to a PC version, particle cannon, so that we're gonna have this as a particle cannon at the back. But otherwise, torpedoes at the bottom. The big gun is still at the bottom, so it shoots there. And I also did this tiny, whiny, crappy little guns down here to get some AP extra. But yeah, they're kind of crappy little guns. Also, was thinking of putting some of these on some other ships, but they just don't fit. I can't. I personally cannot get myself to put something like this on the vessel. It also has these missiles at the side here. Yeah, it's not completely shielded. It only has shields here and there, and it's not particularly sturdy. So I don't think it's gonna last very long in combat. But as a support for our larger vessels, yeah, it's gonna do. Yeah, and when we already had with the supporting craft, there have been other changes made. Where are you? Here? No? They're up here.
Receiving.
Vehicle 10 and Vehicle 5 have been removed and replaced. Now this is the Vehicle 11. As you may note, most of the wood has been removed off the vessels, and now these things are fully cast in metal. The front guns have been actually fixed now, so they are no longer blowing each other up. Or at least, I hope they won't. Never guarantee. I mean, previously they had just so many autoloaders that were right against the wall, and when they blew it, even though this is a pretty thick wall, it still came through and blew the other gun up as well. So that's now kind of fixed. The ship still maintains somewhat of the same speed of 20-21 meters a second, so that's right there. It still has its old maneuverability, not super fast, but not that slow either. Yeah, otherwise they didn't change much at all. They're still the same vehicles as they were. Oh yeah, one thing that did change, it's the width of the ships actually increased, so now they have more side armor than they did before. And yeah, but otherwise they are pretty much the same vehicle 10 that helped us beat the Deepwater God. Most likely we're not gonna see much of actions from these fellas anymore, but we do have them still around. I also made this cross T optics detection kind of thingy on top of the ships, and you're gonna see a lot of this being reworked across all my vessels from now on. I'm actually quite loving this design. Not gonna, I mean, there are changes from vessel to vessel, to version, but it's gonna be generally, it's white. I don't know why it's white, but in generally it's gonna be this cross shape. You saw that on the airship as well. Another change that has occurred to our vehicles is in the vehicle 25. Where are you? Vehicle, okay,
Receiving.
25 here. The 21 vehicle pretty much remained the same. The secondary guns did change from 71mm to 88mm, similar to what changes happened to this ship. But the 21 is still pretty much the same vehicle, while the 25 has now been upgraded to a vehicle 26, and it still has the same cram cannons. But the secondary armament has changed significantly. It has the 88mm, which are now a bit more powerful. Still kind of low on ammunition count, and as the entries that they run out fairly quickly. The ship also extended in length, if you notice. It's at about 15 meters longer than it was before. And why are you sinking your ass? I forgot to put an air pump or something in it? Yes. But the air pump is here. And it's not showing. It's showing like it would be submerged for some other reason. Huh. Weird. Okay, apparently it's slightly bit of a bug. But it's okay. It's okay. It's not sinking, so I presume it's gonna be okay. Hope there are no holes in here. Also, yeah, but the vehicle length has increased. This added the extra gun on each side. The new T-shaped mast has been added. The missiles have been improved. The ship is now deeper actually in its behind, so give it extra space. It also gained this frontal missile bay that are anti-missile. Previously it had them to the side here, those got removed. And it also improvement over its munition defense. They're all improvement. It also gained 60,000 engine power now, previously only 45,000. But its battery capacity kind of reduced to only 90,000 at the moment. So yeah, it didn't really need the battery capacity on the ship because it pretty much uses cram cannons as its main firepower. So really using batteries for anything, nah, it didn't. Oh yeah, smoke defenses have been added, and so the laser detectors have also been added. As we're gonna not only take the white fires, we're also gonna have to fight the lightning hoods because they're BFFs, and well, you attack one, you attack both. So yeah. But this is the vehicle now 26, previously vehicle 25. Another ship that has been not reworked but completely built anew is, however, down here.
Receiving.
This is the vehicle 30. And Jesus Christ, it lagged me there. Yeah, and this ship is, well, it looks somewhat similar. Trying to kind of keep the same theme on the ships. But it's actually much bigger. This is a 25,000 in volume ship. So it's about 10,000 in volume bigger than the vehicle 26, I'm sorry. And it has this quad 450 millimeter guns at the front, quad turrets, 2 of them at the front. Also has the side guns, which are 104 millimeter. These actually can fire pretty rapidly. A laser at the top, some missile defense missiles at the back, and a plethora of missiles completely at the back that can actually are pretty far better than the one that we use on our vehicle 21 to 25. And oh yeah, one more thing that I forgot to mention about the vehicle 26. Torpedoes have actually been placed on the bottom of the ships like this, so they're having a bit more of an angle around, but a bit more exposed as well. So yeah, this laser at the top also, it's pretty much for area targets only. It doesn't have like all-around functionality. And it's also linked to the missile defense system, so I have no idea how well that will actually compute, but the ship alone is pretty big, so I doubt we're gonna sink immediately if we take a couple of hits anyway. Yeah, I was trying to like build a ship that would not be too big for the opponents we're facing, because as soon as you go past a certain point, you're just kind of cheating. I mean, you build a ship that is 45,000 in volume, you know exactly that that's the only ship that's gonna make it into the battle. So you pretty much just throw every single weapon onto it that you can, and in the end, of course, it just beats everything hands down, and the opponent just simply can't spawn in anything big enough. Or anything that would be great enough in numbers to really pose a threat to you. And that was one of the problems. I actually already attacked the white flyers several times as a test, more or less.
Gunnery enabled.
And surprise, surprise, my fleets were so big that the White Flyers just couldn't spawn in their fleets in. So I actually had to split my forces now, so we're at least gonna have some bit of a challenge. And I increased their difficulty a bit more to the expert design ships, and also increased the growth factor, so we're gonna face more opponents. Well, that does mean that the battle's gonna be a bit more dragged on. It also kind of means that we're gonna have a bit more of a proper challenge. Now, this ship, as we're here seeing, I did not mention its dimensions. Length of 139 with 23, height 35, and it has a max speed of 18.4 meters per second. So it's not gonna be the slowest thing around. It's definitely not gonna be slowing our the rest of the fleet down. Yay! So at least that's something. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. Well, for this video, it's kind of a short video, just like slightly bit of introduction. I still have to regather these resources, maybe potentially build a couple of extra ships. To which I figured out that RTGs are costing way more than what I initially anticipated. RTGs, batteries, that cost so much more than it did before. I mean, previously it was crystal. You weren't really thinking about crystal all that much. Now that it costs material, and it costs a lot of material, well, now I know why my ships are that much more expensive than what they were before this update, the material update. I mean, it's been out now for what, 2 weeks? Yeah, I know I'm not actually recording and immediately posting, which is kind of causing problems. But yeah. Oh yeah, we're building another vehicle 30 down here to safeguard us against the lightning hoods, because if somebody reads the lore of this game, or if you don't know the lore of the game, is that once upon a time there was a steel empire that controlled the nether, and there were also the Great Talons, which were the tribal nation. And then the Scarlet Dawn arrived and attacked pretty much these two empires. So joined up, they banged the Scarlet Dawn into the oblivion, at which point the Scarlet Dawn realized, well, we need more sea vessels. So they planted 2 production factories, the Twin God, and flew them onto the planet. But once they were landing, they accidentally got damaged. One of the AI cores got damaged and became self-aware. This core then sicked the second core and corrupted that core as well. So we had 2 artificial intelligence. Now, knowing that the Scarlet Dawn gonna come back, they immediately started preparing for defense against their own creators. This, however, meant that they had to kind of seek an alliance, and they did with the Steel Empire. And the Steel Empire was quite happy with the alliance with the Twin Guards. The only one in the Empire was not happy with the Lightning Hoods, which were the scientists who wanted to have the knowledge that these 2 guards possessing. So once the White Flares and their Fledged God appeared and pretty much attacked the Empire, the Lightning Hoods took the opportunity and attacked the Twin Gods, damaging one of the cores and causing it to produce a lot of drones. That's why the Twin Guard produces a ton of little bastards around the place, and they're really annoying to fight, but you know. And after the war, the Steel Striders were pretty much what remained out of the old Empire. The White Flares were pretty much the White Flares, and the Lightning Hoods were as they were. And the Lightning Hoods and the White Flares joined up, and Steel Striders and Twin Guard are still friends. So that's pretty much the relationship in this game. You know, everybody kind of hates on the Scarlet Dawn and on the Deepwater Guard, the Onyx Watch is kind of on their own, kind of everybody's neutral to it. And then we have pretty much the Steel Striders and the Twin Guards are best BFFs, and the White Flares and the Lightning Hoods are BFFs. And of course the Grey Talons are completely on their own, doing their own thing. I didn't actually read all that much into the lore, it's just somewhat of to explain why the relationship between the faction is such as it is when you start the game. Yeah, Onyx Watch does hate the Deepwater Guard, and the Deepwater Guards are constantly attacking the Onyx Watch as well, so that's also a part of the... I don't have no idea why the White Flares are hating on the Deepwater Guard, though. Maybe just one of those kill all the unbelievers, or something like that. Yeah, but yeah, just a bit of a lore, because I don't have much of anything else to talk about. But yeah, next time we're gonna be attacking the White Flares territory. And as I said before, if I put all the entire fleet at the same time in the action, they couldn't really spawn more than 1 or 2 ships, and that was kind of... It wasn't a challenge. Yeah, well, a challenge. I don't really want a challenge. I just want to have a decent game, but you know, having it way too easy is also not something that I would want to have. So I have increased the speed at which they're gonna recoup. So hopefully that will work against us, or for us, or something in between. But yeah, I'm gonna just wait a little bit extra to collect all these resources. Okay, this one is gonna be soon empty, and we're gonna be attacking on 2 fronts. Oh, it's you, isn't it? Yes, it's you. We're gonna be attacking one at the top here, and one that's gonna go down south, and it will also protect against the lightning foot attacks down there. And spawn in. Yeah, and see, and yes, your AI has reset for some other odd reasoning. I'm not gonna make them up to top speed, which is 80 meters a second. I'm just gonna get them to 23 meters a second. That can be good enough. Yeah, 24.5. That's good enough. But you can actually get yourself moving now. Oh yeah.
Moving now.
Next to the satellite, because they're gonna attack this satellite. Yeah, 18 meters a second.
Receiving.
You're gonna move with them as well,
Moving
because they're gonna need the resupplies. I pretty much split the forces into attack fleet, resupply fleet, and the same thing I have done on this.
Receiving.
I actually put my air frigates into a specific group. But yes, this is gonna be our moment of attack, triumph, and most likely a lot of crying when we lose. Still at 45%. Yeah, it's building very slowly. I mean, it is a big ship. The vehicle 30 is costing near 500,000 resources, so yeah, not the cheapest thing around. I don't actually didn't manage to collect. I've just built one of them, and one is being built, but not there yet. And their ships are actually also very expensive. They use a lot of RTGs. I try to fit as much RTGs, as much batteries into the ship, into the airship, but in the end it was heavy and very expensive. Those ships are somewhere about 250 to 300,000 material, so for their size they're expensive. While the new vehicle 30, well, considering its size, it needs to be expensive, but it also has enough battery power to pretty much... It has something like 700,000 battery power, so that's, yeah, it has a lot of it. A bit too much, actually. I don't know. We're gonna see how well this new vehicle is gonna be performing in the game. Also, I am building a proper airship, I'm very unhappy with it. I'm constantly changing my mind on what I actually want about it, that it would be. So this is the vehicle 400 or 401 is now kind of a stepping stone for the updated proper airship. That I don't know if I'm ever gonna finish, because I'm really indecisive about that thing. It just I go into a vehicle designer and I get distracted so easily, you know, like, oh my god, maybe I could put a particle cannon on it, or maybe a laser, we're gonna put a laser in. Spent 8 hours later, you know, just can't fit it properly into to have the looks of it. It's one of those problems of inventing a wheel but can't decide on the color. Yeah, it's pretty much turned into one of those situations. So yeah, updated vessels, when they're gonna be. The only vehicle 30 I actually started building a good week ago, I must say, and it took me a while. And I'm not completely happy with it, but it's possible. It kind of fits my criteria, and that criteria, I must say, is not particularly high. Yeah, but now I've been talking already for good, about 30 minutes, so this is gonna be pretty much the end of the video. So YouTube, see ya.